I never thought we would be here. But of all people, Lizzo is being exposed for not only being a bully and body shamer, but she is also being accused of harassment. For a person whose entire image is about body positivity, to do something so disturbing is just foul. Child, there is a lot to unpack here because this whole thing is making Lizzo come off as a big hypocrite and fraud. She is now getting canceled and dragged on social media. And I know y'all better get ready because more and more people are coming forward with more receipts on how horrible Lizzo really is. But what does Lizzo have to say about all this? And why does she believe this is a fake campaign against her to ruin her career? Let's get into it. Okay, so I know that Lizzo is super talented and all that, but I think we can also agree that her size and her supposed activism in fighting fat phobia helped to boost her career. When she was just starting out, she got a lot of hate for her body because she was on the bigger side. We're typically used to seeing singers and celebs be super skinny, and it sometimes feels like everybody in Hollywood is one size because it's not every day that we see an artist of Lizzo's size getting attention. So she got bullied heavily and people would leave mean comments under her posts and say hateful things to her. It got to her a lot of times and she would often cry on social media about how people hated on her for her body and how she felt hurt.
I'm putting so much loving energy into the world. Sometimes I feel like the world just don't love me back.
And it wasn't long before she became an advocate for big black women who got a lot of hate because of their body. She became an icon for body positivity who wanted to show women that it was possible to be happy no matter what your body looks like.
I'm doing this shit for the big black women in the future who just want to live their lives without being scrutinized or put into boxes. I'm not gonna do what y'all want me to do ever. So get used to it.
So, most of her public image was built on an image of her as kind of a savior for bigger women. Now, that didn't stop her from still getting fat shamed and getting hundreds of negative comments from haters online, but she had a fierce army of dedicated fans who would go to the ends of the world to defend her. To a lot of people, she was this sweet person who could do no wrong and was the champion of women. So it was a huge shock when we found out that Lizzo was not the type of person she pretended to be on social media. Recent allegations have been made against her by some of her dancers and people who work with her and for her, and child, the revelations have been really disturbing. And when I say allegations, I'm not just talking about social media rumors or a couple of angry dancers dragging her on social media, because they skipped that entire part and they jumped straight to suing Lizzo in court. According to sources, the lawsuit was jointly brought against Lizzo by 3 of her former dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez. And at first, people thought they were just salty because Lizzo had fired them, but it was way more than that. In their lawsuit, they claimed that they had allegedly been subjected to religious and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment by Lizzo. Girl, say what now? The dancers claimed that Lizzo often put pressure on them to do what she wants, even when they were not comfortable with the actions. For example, there was a time she forced them to attend a live adult show in Amsterdam's red light district, and I'm sure y'all understand what I mean by that. The lawsuit says that the main event of the night was a club called Banana Bar, where patrons are allowed to interact with completely nude performers. While at Banana Bar, things quickly got out of hand. Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, catching adult toys launched from the performers' privates, and eating bananas protruding from the performers' privates. Lizzo then pressured one of the dancers, Ariana, to touch one of the performers, even when Ariana said she didn't want to. At the end of the day, Lizzo's pressures got so much that Ariana finally gave in and did what Lizzo wanted. But that's not all, because the lawsuit also goes on to say that Lizzo fat-shamed Ariana on more than one occasion. Lizzo allegedly called out Ariana in front of the other dancers, shaming her for putting on a couple of pounds and saying that she wasn't committed to her job because of her weight gain. The lawsuit stated that Lizzo's questions about Miss Davis's commitment to the tour were thinly veiled concerns about Miss Davis's weight gain, which Lizzo had previously called attention to. Although Lizzo never explicitly stated this, these questions accompanied by Lizzo's statements gave Miss Davis the impression that she needed to explain her weight gain and disclose intimate personal details about her life in order to keep her job. It's just wild how Lizzo is always crying on social media about being shamed when she does the exact same thing behind the scenes. It's given hypocrisy. Anyways, Ariana eventually got fired after she stood up to Lizzo. You see, Lizzo was berating the dancers for drinking before performances, and Ariana spoke up to deny this. Lizzo didn't like being stood up to, and Ariana got fired a week later. They told her that it was because of budget cuts, but she could see through the BS. The other dancers involved in the lawsuit claimed that Lizzo's management company often talked down to her dancers and berated them. And get this, the only members of her team that got treated this way were the black members of the team. It's not like Lizzo didn't know because, well, she was also doing the same thing. Well, 3 women released a statement via their attorney saying, "The stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly, while privately she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal, but absolutely demoralizing." Well, this lawsuit has opened a can of worms because other people who previously worked for Lizzo have now also come forward exposing her for the same exact things, like her former creative director who said, "For clarification, I'm not a part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience and my time there. Big shout out to the dancers who had the courage to bring this to the light." And another of her former dancers added to this saying, "I haven't been a part of that world for 3 years for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light, and I grieve parts of my own experience." It got worse when filmmaker Sophia Allison, who revealed that she stepped down as director for Lizzo's documentary for this very reason. She said, "I usually do not comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected and was thrown into a crappy situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. I felt gaslit and was deeply hurt, but I've healed." Reading these reports made me realize how dangerous of a situation it was. This kind of abuse of power happens far too often. And child, when I tell y'all that she is being cooked on social media, fans have been dragging her and saying, I really try not to idolize celebrities because anyone can be a horrible person, but Lizzo really has knocked the wind out of me as someone who has gone out of her way to be perceived as a safe space and an advocate for all people. It's insane how two-faced someone can be. And I know that we don't know celebrities and that this isn't the first time something like this has happened, but what makes this Lizzo situation so horrible is that she built her whole brand on uplifting plus-size folks just for her to be a body-shaming weirdo behind the scenes. But according to a source, Lizzo doesn't exactly feel as sorry as people expect her to be because she is pissed. However, this doesn't mean that she's sorry. According to reports, they were all messing around at the adult club in Amsterdam, and that she was trying to get Ariana to loosen up. She claims not to know that Ariana felt a type of way about that, so she thinks the harassment claims are ridiculous. She also believes that she was being firm with her dance crew and not evil like they are painting her out to be. Yeah, it looks like we haven't seen the worst of this yet, but I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that the dancers are trying to finesse Lizzo, or do you think that she is truly a horrible person? Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.